Hello and welcome to the Under the Truck podcast, proudly serving vegan substitutes for slowpoke tails for 10 years. It just seems cruel, you know? Like, I'm not even a vegetarian. I love eating meat, but that's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of all this abuse of slowpokes. I mean, just for cutting off their tails.
It takes them 10 years to notice, but still.
Yeah. By that time, it's gone back twice already, and then they're just like, oh, where'd it go?
Yeah, and then, someone else is just like, look, buddy, I hate to tell you, I mean, it's kind of been going for a while. Anyway.
It was delicious, though.
My name is Max.
And I'm Austin.
And what are we talking about today, Austin? Because
today,
the one with the itinerary.
So today, we're going to talk about Kanto.
Oh, Kanto specifically?
Yeah, Kanto specifically.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, well, it's in the itinerary.
It is?
Yes.
I knew I should have looked at it for more than half a second.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a good idea to narrow it down to, the region as opposed to, just, nation worldwide.
Oh, well, let's believe that. But that's good because, I can talk about Kanto from memory.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so where do we start? What's going on?
All right, well, let's first talk about what is your favorite city in Kanto?
Oh, there's a couple that I really like. I really love Lavender Town because it's got Pokemon Tower. I kind of appreciate Fuchsia City because it has the Safari Zone, but just like as a town itself, Saffron City to me always seemed kind of like the big sprawling metropolis. And the coolest thing, especially when I was a kid, is that Saffron City had, two gyms, the actual psychic gym and then the fighting gym where you could get Hitmonchan or Hitmonlee.
That was always super cool to me.
And also just like, because, I pretty distinctly remember like the whole Sabrina arc, like in the anime when I was a kid. And I think that's like actually where my fascination with all like the supernatural stuff began. And so because of that, like Sabrina is still like my favorite gym leader from Gen 1.
Yeah, she's up there for me too. I think it's like tied between her and Blaine, honestly.
Well, no, because
although in Pokemon Puzzle League, I'll always play Sabrina.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you play what?
Pokemon Puzzle League.
Oh, I did not know you could play as different characters. I've never played it.
It's good.
Yeah, no, because Blaine is like, "Ha! You must solve my trivia," and Sabrina's like, "I am the all-powerful, controlling psychic hell child, and I will turn you into a doll." So it's like different levels of intensity.
Yeah, and that's part of the reasons why I like him so much is because Blaine is just so maniacal, and I feel like Blaine sometimes feels like you. I know that's probably
I don't know
weird,
how to feel about that,
but I mean, like, I don't know. There's just something about him that I feel like if there was anybody who I would compare most to Blaine, it would be you.
I'd probably be, oh god, what was the name of that one who wore like a wrestling mask in Gen 4? I don't know.
Oh, Crasher Wake?
Yeah, probably him.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're talking about cities, not gym leaders. So what's your favorite city in Kanto?
My favorite city, I also have a couple. I really like Cinnabar Island because I've always been a fan of like the beach setting, and I always just picture Cinnabar Island as just this really like gorgeous tropical place.
Yeah.
And I also I always really liked Celadon City. I'm not Celadon, Cerulean City. Because like whenever I think of Cerulean City, I think of like water, and it's always like really calming to me.
I see.
The blue.
Yeah, because that's my thing. Like, I remember Cerulean City, it has like the Nugget Bridge and all, but aside from the gym itself, I don't really recall it having a ton of water aside from that river that the bridge runs over.
Well, there was the river, there was the gym. After you get like up to like Bill's house, there's that lake.
Yeah. All right.
And it's also it's the home of like water type gym. But like I don't know, there's just something about cerulean city that I've always found to be like really calming, and
Mm.
especially like after you get out of Mount Moon. That
Oh
this
yeah,
this
no, definitely. Mount
yeah,
Moon
it
is
feels
like
like
an or
it feels like you've like come through, you know, like in like the weirdest terms, the belly of the beast, and you're in like this really nice, pleasant place.
yeah, Mount Moon is a real ordeal. Like the first time you play through it, I think,
Oh
especially because
yeah.
like I think there are like one or two parts where you're just like in a dark tunnel you don't have flash yet.
No,
Um,
that's Dark Tunnel, but Mount Moon it's just easy to get
I
lost.
forgot there's actually a dungeon called Dark Tunnel.
Yeah, that
God, I
is
hate
like the
Dark
tunnel that you
Tunnel.
use Flash.
I hate Dark Tunnel so much.
Yeah, Mount Moon is cool though, but it's easy to get lost the first time.
Mm, yeah, but yeah, because Mount Moon, you go through like you're fighting hikers, you're assaulted by zoo bats.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the freaking jerk dork nerd guy with the fossil.
Fight
He's
me!
he's
You
he's
can't
just
have
all the
these
worst
fossils.
he's just all the worst 4 letter words that you can say in a PG setting.
Nerd,
And then
dork,
yeah, jerk nerd dork.
think.
Oh, Fink. Yeah, okay. Maybe, I'm not sure about is then whatever. And then yeah, so then you get out of all of that. You're just like, civilization. And then you can never turn around again until you get fly.
Yeah, honestly, it really does feel like a point of no return.
Yeah.
But like in a good way.
Yeah.
What do you picture Saffron City looking like?
I feel like Saffron City is just, like I said, just keep in mind another reason. I kind of imagine kind of like it was in the N64 Smash Brothers, where
Oh
it's
yeah.
just like a big sprawling city all over the place. And I like to imagine that it's not in the games that somewhere people are having like Pokemon battles on top of rooftops. So like,
Yeah, you just have like, gangs throwing down. You just get like, you get a bunch of Mr. Mimes snapping their fingers. Like,
yeah. No, it's okay. I'm trying to think. One gang is the Sharpedos. The other gang is I don't know the
is
Latias.
Latios.
There's gonna be a rumble tonight. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I kind of like I kind of picture the opposite with Cerulean City. I picture it being like a more like a small town with like,
That just falsely calls itself a city.
yeah, like honestly, I like, we have like a bunch of like cities that I'm like, this doesn't feel like a city to me. It just feels like, like a mountain town.
Yeah, no,
That just
I
happens to
guess
have a big building in the middle of it.
I guess the thing for me is that like Celadon City, aside from the gym, kind of seems like entirely defined by no, I'm sorry, not talking about Cerulean, I'm talking about like Sapphire here. Like Celadon feels like entirely defined by consumerism because there's the big mall and there's the casino
Oh
and
yeah.
there's the restaurant and there's like one apartment building you go into, but even then you're like getting stuff. You're getting an EV. Well, you go into Saffron City and like, you do have the big office building with Silvercore and you have the gyms and stuff, but you also have like, gold and silver. Like there's the mimic girl who like you can go into her house and get her Pokemon dolls. And like Saffron, I just got the impression that like, and there's a lot of, buildings that you can't go into and stuff. And I got the impression in Saffron that like, yeah, people live here and there's a lot going on in this town. Then later on, they get the magnet train station. So that's a big bonus for them.
And it becomes like a hub of communication at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Travel.
Yeah. So it's just, really cool.
Yeah, and I always liked that too. But like I picture Cerulean City like in the mountains, like especially like with like the Nugget Bridge and stuff, like,
Yeah.
I picture like have you ever seen pictures of Arrowhead?
Arrowhead, maybe.
It's like a mountain town. It's got a huge, like, beautiful lake.
My brother used to go to a place called Camp Arrowhead, so I imagine I might have been near there.
Yeah, probably. But like lots of like
No, wait. Camp Arrowhead was the day camp I went to. My brother went to Camp Saginaw. Never mind.
oh, it doesn't sound nearly as fun as Arrowhead.
Camp Arrowhead was like in the suburbs, so yeah. It
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, kind of takes the magic out of it.
Pennsylvania's full of lies.
But yeah,
Pennsylvania, my least favorite town in Pokemon.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your least favorite city in Kanto?
In Kanto, oh, I have to like think about all of them first, but I guess I would have to say, it's funny because there's a lot to do there, and like, our podcast name comes from there. I'm not a big fan of Vermilion City though, for whatever reason, just because
Really?
like Vermilion, like what you do in Vermilion is like there's the gym and there's the SS Anne, but the SS Anne is like literally right off the edge. So, and then yeah, I think the big thing is that's the big like kind of dungeon thing you do in Vermilion is the SS Anne, and then it leaves, and there's never really a reason to like go back to all these dungeons and stuff, but then you never can return to it. So
Yeah.
Vermilion literally gets rid of like one of the two things you can do there. And like it gets better in yellow because I think like Vermilion is where you get the Charmander.
Oh
But
yeah,
like
it is.
Vermilion, like more than any other city, is the one that you just like pass through there, and once you're done there, you like never have any business again.
And-
like like Viridian, you're just passing through it first, but you're gonna come back here at the end. Celadon, like Pewter, you've got the museum and the Diglett Tunnel, which also connects to Vermilion, I guess. But like, but even then, the Diglett Tunnel just lets you get back to places you can't go anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Pewter, you've also got like the museum, and you can get the Aerodactyl fossil, and you can go back to Mount Moon if you're feeling stupid and or want a Clefairy. And then you've got Celadon. I mean, not Celadon, Cerulean. You go back for Mewtwo and stuff like, and just all these.
And the bike.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like you just get the bike pass from Vermilion. That's it. Vermilion is defined entirely by getting the hell out of there.
And see, I'm the opposite with Vermilion. I think it's cool because for one thing, I've always liked like a dock setting.
I love a dock setting, but like I feel like Olivine did it so much better in Gold and Silver because you have the lighthouse.
Yeah. But I also like Vermilion City for me reminds me of Long Beach in California. Where there's not inherently like
I've been there.
Like oh, that's right, you have. That's where we met.
Yeah.
Well, in person met. But yeah, I picture Vermilion looking kind of like that. Where it's it.
Yeah, but Long Beach was nice. I liked Long Beach.
Oh yeah, I actually picture Vermilion looking like a city. That just happens to have a dock.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of one of the problems with Vermilion, and one of the reasons like it didn't stick with me is that out of all the areas in the original games, like it feels like they put the least effort to make me believe that it looks like a city.
Oh, okay.
Like you've got the Pokemon Center, the Mart, the Pokemon Fan Club, the gym, and then you have like one skyscraper or whatever being built, but there's like nothing else actually in the city proper.
Well, you also got the Old Rod there.
Oh, wow. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. So useful. Just thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's never the time to use that.
But Vermilion also has I think one of my favorite like town themes.
I don't remember it. How's it go? Sing it to me.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, even the gym is just like, loot through the garbage, kid. Then you can fight the guy. After you spent like 2 hours on a boat so you could cut down a tree. The city turns you into a freaking handyman. Cut down the tree.
You see, no, that's who should be voiced by Danny DeVito.
And go. What?
That's who should be voiced by Danny DeVito, Lieutenant Surge.
Oh, God. Nah, I still want Detective Pikachu to be voiced by Danny DeVito, much like a great portion of the internet does.
I know they do.
Anyway, but yeah, so aside from it, like being a seaside port town, like what do you love that? Well, we haven't got to. What's your least favorite place in Pokemon in Kanto?
Well, my least favorite city.
Yeah, city.
I'd have to say probably say Celadon. Only because it's like Celadon, it reminds me of like
so impersonal.
It reminds me of Las Vegas, and I don't like Las Vegas. It's just like
I do not either.
Yeah, it just like you said, it's like a hub of consumerism.
It's just like it's hot, it's overly flashy, it's overpriced, and there's like weird guys handing me flyers with pictures of naked women on them. I don't like it. It's weird. I was underage, and they were handing that crap out to me, man. I was 15.
Yeah, I know. I totally didn't hang on to that picture of Erica, though.
If you're not into gambling, like, aside from maybe the stage shows, there's no reason to go to Vegas ever.
Probably the easiest gym, in my opinion.
Especially if you, no, here's what I do like about that gym. If you, like there's the different ways, and even like Nintendo acknowledges that like the starter Pokemon are for different speeds of trainer. So like Bulbasaur is if you want something like to help you out in the beginning, Squirtle's kind of like midterm success. Charmander's like if you're willing to play the long game. And me, and I picked Charmander. I know
you picked Charmander.
So I struggle against the rock gym. I struggle against the water gym. The caves full of Geodudes aren't doing me any favors. The tunnels full of Digletts aren't doing me any favors. Like Lieutenant Surge is just like a normal fight. I've, fought tooth and nail through like half the game at this point. I've gone through the underground casino base and everything. And finally, I've got my Charizard. And I get to a gym that's just ready to cry. And this is my reward. It is, I earned this easy victory.
I can see that, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I must have discussed this with you at least a few times. I have a philosophy in video games. I don't like cheat codes. I don't like being given the ultimate power too soon or everything. I do like being like over leveled by the end or whatever. I'm a strong believer in the concept of earn your god mode. And if you start with Charmander, by the time you got to the Celadon gym, you have earned your god mode, at least for that.
Yeah, okay,
moment.
I can see that. But it's still my least favorite gym.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I gotta say that just Lieutenant Surge dig through my garbage. Screw you, Surge. Oh, the password's changed again. And also maybe the 10-year-old child got electrocuted. It's a bad scene.
I think the old man threw up in that other trash can. Good luck with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and there's like wannabe rock and roller there or something, which is like, no.
Oh,
man,
yeah,
no.
that's right. I forgot about the rock and roller guy.
One of the two trainers. Yeah, and like
just because he has an electric guitar.
I do get not liking Celadon aside from the gym, just because everything in the city is so impersonal. Yeah. And like that's the reason I like Saffron more, is like Celadon, like even the apartment buildings, like I wasn't sure if I was in an apartment building or a business office. I just felt like, do people actually live here or do people just like work here?
And with Celadon, like I've never like with all of the other like towns, I can like picture the color.
You can picture something cool and unique. Celadon,
I can't even like picture the color Celadon.
Well, yeah, like is it green?
Yeah, I mean, but we already had a green town. We had Viridian, so it's just like
I literally don't know what color Celadon is. Vermilion, I thought was a shade of yellow. It's a shade of red.
It's like an orangey red.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, like Celadon, I guess it's a green.
Maybe
like
I literally
with all the
do
others,
not know.
I can like clearly picture the city and its color.
I mean, they just picture like some of the most obscure shades of colors that they
so they could have cool names.
Just so like, yeah. I mean, I really think it was just like we don't want children to know we have no imagination, so break open the thesaurus.
I think I picked up on it like really quick because I was like, wait a second, lavender is a color, and so
I don't think I knew until second grade. When I got one of those boxes of like 128 crayons, and then I happen to draw Cerulean, and I'm like, that's where Misty lives.
Yeah, see, I knew Lavender and I knew Cerulean, so I was like, I wonder if they're based on colors.
I knew Lavender was like a flower and a smell, which also I don't know why you would associate that with ghosts, but I just kind of
it's because all the ghosts in the game are purple.
Well, you know, flowers die.
It's because all the ghosts in the game are purple.
Yeah, all three of them, and well, Marowak is probably white and or covered in blood.
Well, its sprite was like black and purple.
Yeah, I know. I remember. Let's get the Silph Scope. All right, what's next on the agenda?
What's the city that you'd want to live in?
Like in Kanto, or I mean, you know, it probably would be. I mean, Sapphire. I mean, why do I keep saying Sapphire? Saffron is nice and all. I do like it a lot, and especially once they install that train to Johto, you know, I definitely would want to live close to that. But you know, just get on the magnet train. But I guess that I don't really know, because like I don't want to live in Pallet Town. Like Viridian doesn't really have a lot to offer. Pewter's got a museum at least. Celadon's got a lot going on, if there's actually any housing there. Yeah, no, I guess yeah, I probably would want to live in Sapphire.
Okay.
Just as like I said, I feel like there's a lot going on there. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of people there. And if you really need something to do, it's a quick hop over to Celadon, where you can go to the casino or go shopping or whatever. Because that's the other thing. Like Saffron is like the one that's like between 3 or 4 other places. Well, it's the
central hub of Kanto.
Yeah, exactly. So Saffron, great place to live, and you can hop over to somewhere else.
I always felt like it was like the capital. Yeah,
possibly.
Mine is actually not one of my like, you know, 2 like favorite cities, but I would really want to live in Fuchsia City. Yeah, well, because like it's for one thing, the whole place is.
You just want to go to the ninja school, don't you? You weeb.
No. I mean, let's face it. The whole city is a freaking zoo.
Well, it has a zoo.
It is a zoo. The whole.
Oh, you're right. It is a zoo.
Yeah, the whole city is a zoo. It's right on the coast, which I love. It's got the safari zone. It's you know, I'd want to like, you know, just go through there and like just like, you know, it'd be cool just like explore that.
And it's got the ninja school, so you can get
your the ninja school.
Uh-huh. That's the tune you're singing now, but I know you.
You do know me. But yeah, I you're
gonna be all Kage Bushin no Jutsu.
I hate you.
Yep, and yet you agreed to do this podcast. So
I did. I totally
what does that say about your judgment?
Who's the fool? The fool or the fool who follows him?
Yeah, basically.
But
the answer is both.
That is, yeah.
I mean, they are literally both fools in the descriptor in the riddle. Yeah. I don't know why that's a riddle or philosophical quandary, whatever.
Oh, it's who's the greater fool, the fool or the fool who follows him?
Oh, definitely the fool who follows the fool.
Yeah. And I always thought that like the game warden was like really funny. Just the old
man who loses his teeth in the jungle.
It's like he always like seemed like a grandpa.
Yeah.
No,
that's the thing. I hate navigating the Safari Zone and having to do that quest to get surf. Like, I am really not looking forward to that. That's like one of the parts of the game I'm not looking forward to redoing when they re-release this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's Seafoam Island. I don't like Seafoam Islands.
Seafoam Island sucks.
Yeah, I actually like the Safari Zone because like there's a reason to come back to it.
The Safari Zone is good, like outside of like the reason it's in the story.
Yeah,
but the story part of it is obnoxious and terrible.
Yeah, I like finding the place that you're supposed to go is kind of annoying,
especially because it comes right after the cycling road, which is one of the coolest parts of the game.
Cycling road is awesome.
Cycling road, you go down, you fight gangsters, you move really fast, if you're really good, you can like avoid colliding into anything or whatever, and you figure out the fastest route. Like you get to that point where you just let abandon go and let the game do its thing, and it's just a straight line full of fights and action and excitement, and then getting lost, looking for teeth.
And then trying to get back up the cycling road.
And then you have to deal with the weeb ninja school. It's just all terrible. All terrible. Well, I mean, I guess they're not weebs if they're actually in Japan, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I get that would make me the one weeb in the entire town.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be one of those horrible, you'd be the worst kind of weeb, the one that moves to Japan and thinks being an otaku is a good thing and is always going on about like anime and stuff and thinking Japan is a land of exclusively anime.
And I get frequently beat up in the streets.
And you would deserve it. The Yakuza kill you, nobody cares.
They just like find me like in a gutter somewhere with like, like a ninja star in
body
my neck
pillow,
and
hugging your body pillow, and they're like, he deserved it. Oh boy.
Not even gonna act like that's like a falsity.
Yeah.
What's a place in Kanto that you'd like to explore?
Ooh. Does Mount Silver count?
I mean, it's technically in Kanto, yeah.
It's between Kanto and Johto.
Yeah, sure. Why
not? I'm just saying, but
it's a cheat, but I'll take it.
Mount Silver. Yeah, I mean, I'll play along with Gen 1 in a second, but Mount Silver, holy crap!
Oh yeah,
that's like the ultimate survival for the strongest trainers. You can catch Mistrevis there, which is really neat. There's a bunch of Dodrios to fight for some reason, as I recall, and you get to the top of the mountain, and maybe you just decide to live there forever and never say a word to anybody and live in isolation unless another Pokemon trainer comes along.
But, and you still never say a word to him, and you just leave like a jerk. But still,
yeah, and then you just disappear into the aether forever. But aside from that, as far as the places you could visit in Gen 1, definitely Pokemon Tower is a big one for me.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the one I want to go to, just because if Ghost Marowak is there, what other ghosts are there besides the ghost types?
That's interesting. Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
That is, yeah. I just go there with like a self scope and just chill out.
Just like a ghost Growlithe comes up to you and you're like, "Here, have a ghost biscuit."
What's up, buddy?
I don't know what a ghost biscuit is or where you acquire one.
Ghost Fire.
Ghost Fire is awesome, man.
Yeah. Wouldn't that just be like a Hitodama?
Maybe
I don't know. Whatever. I just proved my weebishness right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it's one of those like spirits, like the spirit that just looks like a little fire.
Oh, you mean like the will-o-wisp things?
Yeah, and they're Hitodamas.
Oh, so that's. Well, I know Hito is fire. I don't know what Dama is.
I think it means spirit or something like that.
You didn't silence your phone, Austin?
No,
Oh, you've ruined this product for everyone listening.
I'll just.
Anyway, where would you like to explore?
Believe it or not, as much as like it annoyed me the first time going through, Mount Moon.
Really?
Yeah, I picture it like how it looks in the anime. Like while it's like it's like a dark cave, but it has like this like beautiful like place like right in the center. Why are you sighing at me?
Just because you deserve
it.
Why?
Why are you sighing at me?
Because I can.
Why are you sighing at me, Psyduck?
Sigh.
But I don't know. It seems like the kind of place that because as much as I hate the dark, I love caves.
Huh. Okay.
And I wouldn't want.
So you're a spelunker.
Yeah, there you go.
You like to spelunk.
I like spelunking. But and out of all the caves in the game, it's definitely the one that's the most well lit. So I'd probably be the most comfortable in Mount Moon.
Yeah. Okay.
I always felt like it was like while it was a cave, it was like well lit by like natural light.
Mhm.
And that there was like maybe like occasional like holes in the ceiling where light could like peek
Like, you think
through.
maybe there's, like, luminescent crystals or something
Yeah, and
throughout it?
I picture it looking um like the cave from Pokemon Snap.
Plus, you can just walk around and all the hikers in there will go up to you and be like, "My long-lost brother, at last!" 'Cause you look like one. You do. Of all the Pokemon classes, you look like a hiker.
Why do I look like a hiker?
He's, like, big and you've got the beard.
Well, yeah. Yeah, okay. All right.
Also, I plan to kidnap you and put you in a hiker uniform, so there's that. It's very clear in my mind.
That sounds like the plan that you've got there.
It is a plan that I've got here. Just need to get the outfit
um,
and fly to California and kidnap you in your sleep.
co-
You know, it's a multi-step process, but I think I can make it work.
I mean, at least at least you have your priorities.
Yeah, yeah, you know, it's a thing that I'm gonna do to you one day when you least expect it.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? I knew we had to get out of that spot, but that's the method you choose.
Well, I had a burp coming out, so I figured I might as well use it in the best way possible.
Okay then.
Well, speaking of getting out of that, since Mew is currently being distributed in XY and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, um,
I mean, on one hand, I want to get it. On the other, it's already level 100. So what fun is that?
yeah, but at least it'll probably like be like matching the rest of your team already.
Yeah, I guess.
And you can teach it whatever move that you want, so it doesn't.
Mew can learn all the moves.
Yep.
That's why Mews always win dance competitions.
But do you remember anything about the Pokemon Mansion?
Don't you ignore my goddamn joke. Yeah, no, I remember the Pokemon Mansion. I remember it well. It's got the apocalyptic logs of the dead scientists who created Mewtwo. It's got like Dittos and tons of Grimers and Mucks and maybe some Voltorbs. And there's like thieves running around inside. And they're like, "Hey kid, I'm gonna fight you." And then you're like, "Well, nope, all my Pokemon are super over leveled." And they're like, "Darn, if only I were a real criminal and had a gun." So
Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about.
Oh well.
Yeah, that was.
I'm glad we could have this conversation
it was
together.
In the itinerary. I figured I might as well bring it up.
I mean, I would like to see what that mansion was like before everything went to crap.
Yeah. I mean the Pokemon special kind of goes into it a little bit.
Yeah, I guess.
And I go by the Pokemon special canon that Blaine had something to do with Mewtwo.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also like the possibility,
and that Blaine and Mewtwo have their DNA in each other, and like can feel each other in their arms and stuff. That's so weird.
Like Harry Potter with his scar. He's thinking about me.
I mean, kind of. I guess.
Yeah.
It's like how. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
But do you think that Mr. Fuji had anything to do with it?
Maybe not. Now I'm just thinking of how like Blaine would weirdly fit in as a Harry Potter character.
I don't even think that he'd like weirdly fit in. I think he would like perfectly.
Yeah,
fit
I mean, he's just like an old man who tells riddles. That's so Harry Potter.
Yeah, just
like he has fire creatures.
All of his like spells would have to do with like something having to do with like fire.
Yeah, he's an old man who speaks in rhyme and has a fire horse.
Very
like,
flamboyant.
What do you even need anymore?
Yeah, he just he would fit in very well.
He never says anything straight up. He just answers cryptically.
He'd make a good defense against the dark arts teacher.
Or a horrible one. Harry will be like, "Professor Blaine, if I'm faced with a Dementor, what should I do?"
Yeah, blow fire at it, kid.
No. I mean, yes, but no. Blaine would be like, "What is fear?" But deep within ourselves, or something like that. I don't feel like making a riddle right now.
You really pulled it together there, buddy.
Well, someone has to keep this conversation going.
Gonna freaking die.
Good.
No, it'll miss me. Would you want to live in Kanto compared to like any of like the other?
No. I love Kanto. I love Gen 1. Doesn't mean they got a lot more impressive and a lot more creative over time.
Okay. All right.
Just like, because here's the thing, like aside from Saffron City, like before I knew, or because I missed the part where we were just talking about Kanto, like I got this list of like 10 locations I really love, and only one of them is in Kanto.
Well, we'll get to them eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
What was the one location that you had?
Saffron.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get to those other locations soon enough.
Yeah.
But I'd be perfectly fine with living in Kanto. Like I said, I like especially like Fuchsia City and all that. I'd be perfectly. I would be at home there. It feels like home. It reminds me of home.
You're just dead by the hand of Koga's ninjas.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the.
Are we done already? Is that it?
That was all we had on the itinerary.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Neat.
That'll make this a short one.
What do you think I should have for lunch?
I don't know. You should probably have like a sandwich or something like that.
Sandwiches are good, man. I can work with that. Okay, yeah.
You gonna go for a Dagwood, or are you gonna go for a sub?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think I'd be able to like marathon through a Dagwood, man. I think that would be a bit too much for me.
We're still recording, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now we're stopping though.